creator of all that is, ubiquitous, encompassing, profound. Tuning into this energy of the divine is humbling and empowering all at once. That is one of the mysteries, the minuscule and the majuscule. Our part right here, right now, is why we are here, why we are tuning in. We are our purpose. Consider no predator and no prey, just us awash in divine energy with all its movement and play. When we do this, there is peace within. When there is peace within, there is gratitude. Where there is gratitude, there is clarity and direction that we are here to take responsibility now that we know who we are. We are of source, of creator energy, and so it is.
Hello, my name's Ron Vroman. I'm the old white man talking head for the Oregon Statewide General Assembly. There are people out there that are acting like persons, and they were thumping their chest all about how smart they are, and they know all the articles and sections of the Constitution, and just really writing some great paper and submitting it to a United States federal district court or some such court. And I asked a couple of them, how do you figure that out? You do not have Article 4, Section 4. You do not possess a constitutional Republican form of government. You do not have it on your state. We have it, at least on Oregon. Tough to do anything with it, but at least we got the paperwork done. We have established our bona fides. So these folks that have all of this knowledge and are writing all this paper neglect to understand that the first thing you have to do is you have to assemble. Then you have to have a social contract or a social compact. You cannot do it alone. You have to do it for yourself, but you can't do it alone. So if you don't have a social compact, and we'll teach you how to get one, it's written down. All you have to do is follow the prompts. But if you don't have one, you have no authority. You have no standing. You have to attain standing, and you have to be able to support your claim that you have standing. We were talking to some folks the other day, and they know all the stuff. Boy, they were telling us all the stuff that they knew. They knew they weren't a U.S. citizen, and they knew who they were, and they knew where their unalienable rights came from, and they knew who guaranteed and what guaranteed their rights, and all of that. And I asked them, prove it. And they said, what do you mean, prove it? I am. Yeah, good. Prove it. How do you prove something? Look it up. How does a man or a woman, a sovereign being, look that up too in Bouvier, Dictionary 1856, the only place in the world, the only place in the world with the provenance that men and women are sovereign and they are defined as such. The only place. Nobody else has it. If you don't have your paperwork together, you can't prove your claim. Do we have the supposition of law, or you're just going to accept color law every place you go all the time? Yes, sir. Here's my driver's license, proof of insurance, and vehicle registration. And hopefully you get away without getting hit with a stick, handcuffed, or put in jail. Maybe it's just a piece of paper. But all of these people that look at me and what we're doing and they say, oh, yeah, well, how are you going to enforce that, Verlman? And I think, God, how would a little old man on Oregon enforce anything? We don't enforce, we don't incarcerate, we don't execute. That's not our job. Our job is to form a social compact and to do the work of making sure that you have a provisional government on your state, commonwealth, or territory so that we can meet in a Congress assembled and actually return to the provenance that we have. That has to be done properly, and it has to be done this year. They have a saying in Spanish, humanos propone y Dios dispone. That's one of those deals. We can propose, but we cannot dispose. We filed 3,534, I think that's the number. I'm pretty sure it is, of verdicts with 38 prosecutors on Oregon. Not one of them did their job. Is that our fault? We're supposed to go enforce that? How does that work? It doesn't. You got to read the paperwork and follow the prompts and do the work and arrive at your lawful place in this. And your lawful place is in your jural assembly, standing with your jury pool that can actually form a grand jury and actually form an Article 3, Amendment 7 civilian court of record. If you can't do that, you're in that place where the forefathers said, a republic if you can keep it. And if you don't even know how to get it, return it, or keep it, how in the hell can you expect somebody to do it for you? I read on Substack lots of people with all kinds of problems and issues all over the place, here and there in foreign countries and Davos, and oh my goodness. And then I start asking them, well, what's the solution? Well, I don't know. Well, then why in the hell are you beating the drum on the problem if you can't figure out a solution? There's a preponderance of evidence, and these folks know it. They know it because they write all of this work with all of these issues. And every time they write it down, they got to know that it's because the law is being broken with color law, but they don't seem fit to take the next step to assemble and form a social compact and do the work instead of just standing there raising hell, printing up lots of paperwork, blogging all over the internet. And they don't have a clue. I got in trouble with Sarah Westall. She's a do-gooder. And she is working on her agenda for doing good. And Charlie and I gave her the solution a year ago. And she was a member of Anna's assembly, she said. I don't know whether she did all the work or not. But she doesn't do the job. She only points at things. So she pointed at Charlie and I and said, tell us the solution. And we did. And she doesn't do anything about it. She go on another problem. And two more after that. People with the platform. Bundy comes to mind. Sarah Westall comes to mind. That chick in the Grass Valley Assembly comes to mind. Russell-J. Gould comes to mind. There's a bunch of them. And they are all in the de facto. Military, ex-military, ex-CIA, all of these people that are right up to here in the de facto, members of the industrial military complex, supporting, for an example, Donald J. Trump, who's an oath breaker without honor and cannot hold a position of trust. And I can prove that with proof in his own hand. And people are still out there beating the drum. They want to elect this guy again. And he can't hold a position of trust. He breaks his oath. And he does it in front of all of us. He's too pragmatic. When you have the opportunity, go to www.orsja.org and start looking at what we have already done. And with full faith and credit, you have access to all of that. I got a frog in my throat today. I'm going to have to stop this talking and clear my throat. But the object is the same thing. Article 4, Section 4. There's no use quoting the Constitution to any of the de facto until you have Article 4, Section 4. And so far, the only way you can get Article 4, Section 4 is the way we did it. www.orsja.org, and we will help you, but you have to do it yourself. We can't do it for you. You got to do it. And we can't do it unless you do it. Do you get it? It's important that you do. And I yield.
They do not want to let go of this. They do not intend on losing here. And we do not intend giving it back to them.
And then the bullets started flying. And then he jumps out of the car. And he's got both his hands up. And he got out of the car, and he had his hands in the air. He's like, just shoot me then. This is what you want, just shoot me. And they did. They shot him dead. With his hands in the air, and I saw it. I swear to God. He was just walking with his hands in the air. And they shot him. And they shot him dead, and then after he was down on the ground, they shot him 3 more times.